Welcome back to Buzz TV. I'm Steve Strum. This morning we have Easa Mousa from the Mousa law firm. I think I got that right.
Yeah, it's law office Mousa. That's close
I got
enough.
it backwards, but I got Easa Mousa right.
Right, you did.
So we were talking offset. You have you're a lawyer.
Yes.
Focusing in on bankruptcy law.
Correct.
But you do something a little different in what happens after.
That's correct.
Tell us a little bit about what you do.
Well, it all started off when people would come to me for a bankruptcy, and then we complete the bankruptcy, and then they would say, well, what about my credit, or what about how am I going to get a car, or what about my student loans? And so I used to just say, well, do the best you can and leave them at that, but I didn't like that. So what I decided to do is to research and find the best way to rebuild someone's credit after bankruptcy. Not repair, but actually rebuild. And
there's a difference.
There is a difference. Repair is where you can just go in and ask someone to dispute a certain bill and take it off, but there's a systematic way that you can rebuild your credit right after bankruptcy. So I searched various ones, and there's 720creditscore.com is one of the few. I got in touch with the owner of the company, and I've been with them for about 6 years. I subscribe to them, and it's a great program because I've seen clients who come in with credit scores in the mid 500s, and if they do everything they're supposed to do, follow through on the program, and it's a very simple program. I mean, after you get your discharge in bankruptcy, we enroll you into the program. I follow up with you to make sure you're doing all the things they tell you to do. They send you out an email once a week for 13 weeks or so. You listen to it for 10 minutes, follow through on what you're instructed to do. Do this, you should raise your credit score by this much, do that. It may only raise it a little bit. It gives you, advice as to what to do. And I've seen clients who've actually had credit scores in the mid 500s within a year and a half get up to 720 and above. So it's very effective in that regard. And it's better than sometimes people say, well, just check Credit Karma every once in a while, or pay your bills on time. That's all good stuff, but you got to have a systematic way, and that's what I decided to do. And I used to be the only one, I think I still might be the only one that has the program in town, because they try to limit it to a particular area. But clients come to me just for that program alone. And you don't even have to file bankruptcy, because we also resolve debts outside of bankruptcy. So if someone would say we settle a case, an American Express bill that they can't resolve, they're being sued, we work with American Express to resolve it, and then we can then help them enroll them into the program to build it back up. And there's other areas too. I mean, they'll say, well, what about my student loans?
Big topic. A lot of people are saying, I'm a finance guy by trade. That's the next bubble.
It definitely is.
$2 trillion in student loan debt or something crazy like that?
Yes. Yes. And I looked around to see if there's any other professionals in town, and there really wasn't any attorneys. So I got myself trained. This is about 6 years ago. I got myself trained in the student loan area because I didn't just want to send the clients out without any specific instructions to how to help them with that problem. And so my practice just built up on its own, frankly, because I'm pretty much the only one in town. I mean, there's a few others, but I don't know how active they are. Where if someone has a federal student loan, I could make sure they get in the proper repayment plan. If they're default or they're about to get their wages garnished, which happens all the time, we can file the necessary paperwork to get them out of default and get them back on track again. And with the private student loans, we can try to settle them or try to work out a payment plan so we can resolve that. But it's a very specific area of the law, and there's a lot of non-lawyers who are involved in it. But so I'm happy that I could help people with that.
Well, that's a big thing. A lot of folks that I interact with professionally, not just people that go to community college, but all the way from a trade, all the way up to a physician. They have, substantial amounts of student debt, whether it's somebody who has $50,000 of student debt that's earning $50,000 a year, or somebody who has $500,000 of student debt earning $500,000 a year. It's the same ratio.
That's exactly right.
And it's a constant struggle and stressor for people that are trying to utilize education system that may have had a debt finance.
And it's what people often realize. They say, well, I'll get a deferment or I'll get a forbearance so they don't have to pay for a while, but the interest starts to accumulate and the interest becomes principal, and then you're paying new interest on the new balance. I've had people come in and say, I had a $5,000 student loan, now it's $35,000. What happened? I said, well,
Sure.
That's just all interest building up. And there's other things too. I mean, I've had people say they have to lose their car in bankruptcy, and they say, well, how can I get another car if my credit's ruined? And so I did search around, and I got a very close relationship with a dealer who can finance you right after you file bankruptcy. So if you got a car that you're upside down in, or you just can't afford to pay, or it got repossessed, and you say, hey, I need a car, I got to get to work, I got to transport my kids to school, and you have income, because most people who come in are earning, they're working, they're making, they're making decent money. So
They're just getting to a problem that they found themselves underwater.
I found a professional who knows the bankruptcy process and who knows bankers who can actually finance you immediately after you file bankruptcy, and sometimes save you a lot of money. So the purpose of what I'm saying is that there's a lot of lawyers in town who do bankruptcies, there's a lot of lawyers in town who do debt defenses, but then what happens afterwards? Obviously, I'll focus on getting people out of debt if I can, protecting their property. In fact, I guess my motto or my mission statement is, we help people protect their property from creditors and eliminate debt. But then I also want them to get back to a normal life again. That's why we help them rebuild their credit. We help them find a car if they need a car. We help them with their student loans. And if they need financial planning, counseling, or anything else to help them get back into life, back to a normal life again, that's what I try to do.
That's amazing. So if somebody wants to connect with you, whether they're facing a bankruptcy, understanding can I avoid bankruptcy, the whole student loan thing, which is a really hot button these days, how do people find out more about you?
Well, they can go to my website. It's www.mousalaw, that's MOUSALAW.com. There has a lot of valuable information on there, and there's a contact form you can fill out, and there's also my phone number and my email there as well. My phone number is area code 904-296-7704, and of course you can email me at Mousa@mousalaw.com. I'm always around. There's no charge to come in and talk to me. We don't charge for an initial consultation, and we can help anyone come in because we try to get a payment plan that works for everyone.
Well, I appreciate you joining us on the show today. Thanks for giving us some insight, not just on, oh my gosh, I might be facing bankruptcy, but oh my gosh, there's a pathway after.
Yes.
That's awesome. Guys, thanks for joining us on Buzz TV. If you like us, share us. Or remember, live with gratitude.